this is Scott from the Mountain Dispatch and Scott Shot Media. Today is Thursday, February 18th, and this is what is happening on the mountain. Traffic looks pretty decent right now. There is a couple of daytime CalTrans projects going on that might have you slightly delayed. Actually, it's two different projects going on. A 38 ongoing construction for repairs from the El Dorado fire, and then through Big Bear Lake on the 18, you'll have a couple of small projects there. Might have you down to one lane, might have some traffic control in place, and then of course the ongoing overnight project at the bottom of the 330 transitioning to the 210 might lose an interchange lane from time to time as CalTrans is widening the freeway down there. Weather is going to be pretty nice this week after we get past this wind advisory that is set to expire at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then we should have some pretty mild temperatures for the rest of the forecast period, definitely through the weekend. No rain, no snow in our immediate future. Because of some drying out conditions and some winds that have been happening off and on, our fire risk is slightly elevated. It's still considered low, but that's a little elevated from little to no risk over the next 7 days. And 4 crimes were reported on the mountain yesterday. We'll go ahead and post a graphic on those locations. So if you saw some police activity in your neighborhood yesterday, you know what was going on. There are a bunch of outages. Most of these are scheduled maintenance outages, but there is one in Forest Falls that appears to be some sort of equipment failure. Not sure if it has anything to do with the winds or not. But as of last check, there were 10 separate outages reported, 9 maintenance, 1 emergency outage. A total of 1,266 customers on the mountain currently affected by those outages. Most of the, with the exception of Forest Falls, most of the other outages should be done hopefully by 4 o'clock this afternoon. And lastly, after a pretty slow week of reporting on COVID cases, only 1 or 2 a day, today we had 9 new cases reported. Could be some delays because of the holiday on Monday, late for the labs to report, but maybe more plausible is we're starting to see a slight influx from the long 3-day weekend, Valentine's Day, President's Day. So that might be the case for that. 80 active cases on the mountain, around 80 active cases. Again, a lot of people comment or question what's considered an active case. So it's simply the total of cases, total new cases reported in our area in the last 10 days, which is, in fact, the infectious period is about 10 days. So we just report the number of infectious cases. And then no new deaths reported today, but we did have 4 deaths reported since Saturday, 2 in Big Bear City, 1 in Big Bear Lake, and 1 in Lake Arrowhead. So that's all that I have for you today. If you have a few minutes to stick around, we can go into greater detail, starting with your traffic. Traffic looks pretty nice on most of the mountain highways. You will have 2 construction projects going through Big Bear Lake on Highway 18 as CalTrans does some utility work between Iris Drive and Catalina Road. Ongoing long-term construction, emergency repairs going on the 38 between Old Mill and Jenks Lake. And that might have a pilot car. It might be down to 1 lane. But minor delays right now. And then, of course, on the bottom of the 330 transition to the 210 at night between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., you could lose an interchange lane as CalTrans takes that up as they widen the freeway. Weather's going to look pretty decent after we get rid of this wind advisory, which is set to expire around 2 o'clock today. That will leave us clear skies, mild temperatures for the next few days. We may have some increased winds overnight, Saturday night, but certainly nothing damaging. But because of the weather and the strong winds, the drying out conditions, we are at a slightly elevated fire risk. We are at low risk on the San Bernardino Mountains. The Forest Service has us under a moderate risk. And So there's some restrictions that go on with that, but our long-term forecast is about average for the next 4 months or so, and that average being an average fire risk. 4 crimes reported on the mountain yesterday. You can look here at the address, see what the incident type was. One over here in Crestline, one on Lake Arrowhead, one in Big Bear Lake, one in Big Bear City. So take a look and see if you had any police activity in your neighborhood overnight, last night, yesterday. You can see what was going on. Currently, there are 10 power outages reported, 9 maintenance outage and 1 emergency outage. So over here in Crestline, Twin Peaks, and Lake Arrowhead, we have a handful of customers affected as crews work to upgrade the equipment. Those power should be restored by 5 o'clock. This is just ongoing infrastructure upgrades. Along the 38 corridor between Angeles Oaks going up towards the summit, there's additional power outages affecting about a little over 1,000 customers. And this is, again, should be done by 4 o'clock. Equipment upgrades. The over here in Forest Falls, hiding behind the graphic, behind the lower thirds here, is about 200 customers without power due to equipment problems, and there's no ETA right now when you'll get your power back there in Forest Falls. So a lot of Edison infrastructure work going on today. Lastly, our COVID-19 just updated right before we started broadcasting. So hot off the press, 1 new case reported in Big Bear City, 1 new case in Big Bear Lake, 4 in Crestline, 1 in Lake Arrowhead, and 1 in Running Springs, and 1 in Twin Peaks. So our larger communities are still seeing a couple of cases reported, 1 case a day, 4 cases a day. That still keeps those communities under widespread. The smaller communities that haven't reported anything for the last couple of weeks, you're under minimum spread. This is the state's 4-tier risk assessment system. But collectively, we need to see all the communities get down into minimal risk in order to see the community itself. And this is how they're going to determine when schools are opening. So right now, Bear Valley, you're still under a widespread risk. Rim, you're still under a widespread risk. As a reminder, this is 7-day average trailing 7 days. So the numbers that represent here are from 8 to 14 days ago. Our daily numbers, as reported today on the mountain, we're at an 18. We want to see this number below 7. Actually, it was at a 1 yesterday, which was really good. But again, we might be seeing some delays in reporting because of a holiday. We may also actually see some increased holiday exposures. 3-day weekend, Valentine's Day. It's not unheard of, not unplausible that we have a slight spike in new cases because of that. But we should see that go down pretty quickly. So on the mountain, our daily risk, we're at an 18. That's 9 new cases per 100,000, gives us a rate of 18. Similarly, there's about 28 per 100,000 in the rest of the counties. The state's looking better, 16 cases per 100,000, 21 cases nationwide per 100,000. So that's all that I have for you. Best place to get your news and public safety articles is at our new website, mountain-dispatch.com. And feel free to email me, Scott@ScottShotMedia. Give me a text message. Follow along on social media. What is happening on the mountain on Facebook, or for late breaking news, check us out at Scott Shot Media on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. You guys have a great day.